CD Daily Newscast.
Be prepared and be educated.
Good morning, this is Mavar Boncan.
And Rosalie Huilar. And you are watching BCD Daily Newscast.
Here are some issues that hindrances to education.
Consider these challenges children are currently facing in education. Education is important. It is the key to success in the future and to have many opportunities in our life. However, there are issues existing that halt the growth. Can we provide equal quality of education?
To have a quality education, let's address solutions. Now, let's hear the report from Ms. Yvette Semeni and Rex Adrian Rabo, exclusive.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. The literacy rate in the Philippines rises. Philippine education needs curriculum overhaul. During the rise of the pandemic, there has been a common acknowledgement that the quality of our education system is quite low. Representative Joey Salceda, chairman of the House Committee on Ways and Means, vowed to revive calls for an overhaul of the country's curriculum, with a focus on rational skills, critical thinking skills, and good citizenship. The Department of Education needs to initiate what a key official of the House of Representatives described as a curriculum overhaul. After the World Bank reported that 80% of Filipino children suffer from literacy problems, and thus, it is very alarming. According to the World Bank, only 10 to 22% of grade 4, grade 5, and grade 9 students in the Philippines posted scores at or above minimum proficiency when they conducted tests across the 3 global assessments. The lack of usable skills, especially in the hyper-competitive global economy, is a life sentence to poverty. We can't let this pass noting that the problem is fundamental, Salceda said. As a former National Economic and Development Authority chief, he added that our learners are stunted and undernourished. Our learning materials are substandard and curriculum is impractical. Our teachers are overworked and schools are under-equipped. These were the problems we sought to solve with a comprehensive education reform agenda. Salceda said, citing his bills on universal school meals, an overhaul of the K-12 system, and a renewed focus on technical and vocational skills and improved school facilities. If the curriculum is overhauled into a better version, the literacy rate will increase and high-quality education will be achieved. It leads learners to be globally competitive, which will result to country's development as well as the whole world. This is Nef Simino reporting, Stokestad 3A.
One of the challenges that we are facing is that teachers do not have the capacity that is needed currently to be able to support children's learning. As we all know, teacher composition is a very important factor in quality education. The math is simple. If you have good teachers, then you are likely to have quality education. If you don't have good teachers, then you are unlikely to achieve them. So, one problem is the teacher quality, which of course needs teacher training for them to be supported, because recently in the Philippines, especially in most private schools, we have so many teachers and some of these teachers do not have a teaching background. Corruption may not be totally eradicated where it exists. However, those who are involved in taking money from job seekers in order to get them teaching jobs should be punished. This will curtail the infiltration of the teaching profession with unqualified teachers. This is also a problem, especially in places where jobs are hard to get. So, those in places of authority will prefer to employ their relatives and friends. Their qualification for the job will now be emphasized. This should be avoided, and the problem of unqualified teachers will be resolved. There should be a rigorous screening exercises when students are to be registered for teacher training. Sometimes students don't get admission to study the course of their choice. They are forced to accept a course in education. In such cases, the student is not likely to perform well in the field. Therefore, students should be admitted based on their interests to become teachers. Having looked at how unqualified teachers are produced, it is important to provide help for them. Some of them are victims of circumstances and would want to do better. We should equally know that the way to stop the production of unqualified teachers is to stop the production of unqualified teachers. This means that unqualified teachers will always reproduce their kinds. teacher training institutions should admit only people with good performance. If the identified problems are resolved, certainly the problem of unqualified teachers will no longer be a problem in educational performance.
Now, let's mesmerize for another solution report given from Zero and Giuliano. Please give us an update.
Good day, everyone. I am Jira, and today I will be reporting on the issue in lacking of facilities and teacher shortage here in the Philippines. So, the most basic needs so that classes can be conducted are classrooms, chairs, and teachers. However, here in our country, there are still large-scale shortages of facilities and teachers across Philippine public schools. According to data from the Department of Education, otherwise known as DepEd, more than 28 million students have enrolled for academic year 2022-2023. Moreover, the DepEd said that there is still a shortage of around 40,000 classrooms all over the country. Budget documents submitted to Congress show that only 957,958 out of 1,004,990 positions in the department are currently filled, translating to 47,034 unfilled positions, including non-teaching personnel. The same document showed that only 5,581 out of the 10,000 new teaching positions created last year were filled up. With this, there are still too many students and too little resources. Albeit it claims the government needs an increasing allocated budget for education, there is still a prevalent difficulty the public school system faces with regard to shortages. Even on the onset of face-to-face classes this year, these pressing conditions remain challenging this school year in teaching and learning, especially for those learners who were under distance in the past 2 years. Given this data and information, we can see that this issue is still clearly evident here in our country. With that, to combat this issue, let us now proceed to the proposed solutions. First solution are the compensation, benefits, and less workloads. To combat teacher shortage, these factors are all necessary. If the government provides competent compensation, top-tier benefits, and less teaching workloads, these factors will be the main reasons and motivators for soon-to-be teachers to entice and choose the path of teaching profession. The reason why some Filipino teachers work abroad is that these conditions are not presently being manifested here in our country, as our government does not give that much focus on these things. With that, to recruit more teachers and retain current educators, these factors must be on the top of the agenda. The second solution is the budgeting and funding. As we all know, DepEd has been funded and budgeted by the government accordingly. However, it was not spent well. According to the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, otherwise known as UNESCO, 6% of a nation's gross national product, or GNP, must be allocated to education. However, here in the Philippines, only 2% of its GNP are spent on this humanitarian function. As a result, the Philippine educational landscape still currently faced with this pressing issue. With that, as a solution, an inclusive and an organized budgeting and funding that is through a competent and honest system is needed. With inclusive and organized budgeting and funding, it will guarantee the construction of new classrooms, repairing the old ones, buying adequate and appropriate learning materials and resources, and of course, raising of the teachers' compensation and benefits. The third and last solution is the government cooperation and support. Giving full cooperation and support to learning institutions is one of the main responsibilities of the government. With that, to make things realized and discern a greater difference in our educational system, full government cooperation and support is a must. Full government cooperation and support in a sense that it will hear and cater all the needs and demands of the students, teachers, and learning institutions. They will not properly function at its best, and it will be heavy for them to carry out all of the burdens if the government won't cooperate and provide full support. Thus, it really is a must. Having a government that is willing and ready to lend its hand when needed will surely await a better future for the educational system here in our country. In conclusion, the aforementioned pressing challenges are among the so-called manifestations of a failed education system, and the pandemic's onset has only made this educational crisis worse. Therefore, in order to determine the hierarchy of issues and to determine what must be done and how, a coordinated effort is required to address the desired situation. The triumphalism and self-congratulatory remarks made as the school year began cannot overshadow its enormous endeavor and repercussions. We can slowly but surely combat this educational crisis and pursue delivering high-quality education to all students with the suggested solutions, which include competent compensation, top-tier benefits and reduced teaching workloads, organized and honest budgeting and funding, and full government cooperation and support. Changes won't happen immediately, but with perseverance and cooperation, we can all succeed, and an improved educational system is what awaits. That would be all for my presentation. This has been Jira reporting.
Deteriorating quality of education in the Philippines. Recent reports show that the country's top universities all fell in the 2023 World University Rankings released by the United Kingdom-based international higher education information provider Macarelli Simons. It is observed that the Philippines is facing numerous educational issues. A 2018 study found out that a sample of 15-year-old Filipino students ranked last in reading comprehension out of 79 countries and ranked 78 in science and math. Teachers also decry students' inability to construct a correct sentence, much less a paragraph. The deteriorating quality of education in the country is highly alarming that there is an urgent need to address it. The country's financial status is one of the top factors that add to the growing education issues in the Philippines. Other factors have led to poor quality of education includes low government budget for education, poor quality of teachers, poor management of schools, poor school facilities such as laboratory and library, poor learning environment, the content of the curriculum, inadequate books and science equipment, poor method of instruction, and shortages of classrooms. How do we solve the problem of declining quality of education in our country today? Government investment in education should increase to be able to provide better teaching materials, improve salaries of teachers and professors, build more classrooms and learning facilities like science laboratories and libraries. Sure that the education budget is spent properly, the government should also consult with local and foreign education experts on how to improve the quality of education in the country. Raise standards for teachers. Studies have found that underqualified teachers are tied to poor outcomes for students. We must clarify standards for teachers seeking licenses and raise standards in areas where student outcomes are lowest. Improving the quality of instruction and teachers with the target that all learners meet basic skills based on international standards. Indeed, education is the most vital tool for the betterment of humanity. It is a strong pillar that holds an entire nation together and leads it to ultimate success. It builds the young generation to become competent and future leaders of the country. So the measures to be taken to address education problems should start now, as we can't afford to just watch and see the quality of Philippine education spiral down into the gutter. We certainly don't want to wake up one day and see generations of Filipinos unable to reach their full potential because the country was unable to provide them quality education. This is Jill Miano reporting.
These are our news for today.
Any stated problems should always have a proposed solution. Thank you for watching.
Again, this is Carbon Cannons,
And Rosalie Winner,
and you are watching